going on?
You're Cynthia. Hi, Blair. What's up, buddy?
Oh, just living the dream. We're like the past few weeks, we are pre-recording this a little bit earlier. I mean, it's easier to coordinate with guests instead of being like, hey, you got to wake up at 8 a.m. to hop on a stream, because nobody wants to do that, and I don't blame them. So we're pre-recording this. This is Monday night. This will be airing Saturday at our usual time, but I'm kind of hyped. But how's your weekend been?
It was good. It was good. Fun fact. I'm going to out myself on a pre-recorded show. I just learned that powdered sugar is simply powdered sugar. Like, it's finely ground, just regular sugar.
Powdered sugar icing sugar?
No, I just learned it today. I was like, Mrs. Pluggo, this is wild. Some guy was like, all you have to do is take regular sugar and put it into a blender, blend it up really, really fine, sift it, and you have powdered sugar. And she was like, how did you not know that? And I was like, honey, you married me for not my brains. That's for sure. So that's how I'm doing. On top of the fact that, by the way, welcome to your independent weekend wrestling show on Love Wrestling for Exposure. You booked some guests this weekend that I don't think we coordinated. You're talking about coordination, this and coordination. I didn't know they were going to be here.
We should have known. I sent the messages.
You should have told me that.
I hit you up. Well, I know it was a bit of a shock.
It was.
They're waiting for us, but it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah. Last time I spoke to the guests that we have today, they weren't too fond of me.
I'm expecting the exact same.
Is that what you're asking for?
I'm expecting chaos. That's why I invited these guests. And can you really blame me? Because I like sometimes I like seeing you struggle.
Oh, apparently it's seen me struggle, see my struggles. That's okay though. I mean, we'll have fun, I guess. I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to just bring them on now and just rip the Band-Aid right off.
We'll bring them on right now, because you know what? These two, they're jacked, they're juicy, and they're a couple certified beauties. Come on, that was a pretty good intro.
I would
have. Our faces is a good intro, guys.
It's definitely nicer than I would have given them.
It was okay. You had lots of time to prepare for this.
All right, it's gonna be one of those. All right, we got Lira joining us, guys. How are things going? How was the weekend?
Busy.
Yeah.
Kids always keep you busy. It feels like you're working nonstop.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we only have ours for half of the time, and that week that we have them, your hands are full. It's tough.
Oh yeah. Oh well, it is. We love them. They keep you up. You do it.
My week's good. I went to the mountains Wednesday. I haven't done anything since. So.
I like how we're all just like, these kids are tearing us down. And Sheik's like, I was at the mountains chilling. Smart man.
Just crushing cold ones in the mountain.
Oh, I got no kids that I know of, so
that you know of.
I always say that I've got 4 that I know of. I don't know about that. I don't know. There might be a couple.
You know what I know though? I know how to make powdered sugar.
Right? I knew. I swear to God, I thought there was some other ingredient to that made that what it was. And she's like, "Are you an idiot?" And I was like, "I might be." You know how many times I've left the house to go get powdered sugar for some recipe that we needed powdered sugar for, not thinking I could just grind up the granulated sugar I already have.
That's too much work. Just go buy it.
I feel silly today. I feel like I'm losing it.
No argument there.
I was going to say, you guys are being incredibly nice so far because you haven't said anything, which is nice. But anyway.
They're going to kick it into overgear. You just got to give them time. I saw some of that on.
I see your shirt. Is there a reason I should get mad at you?
I wore Becky Lynch today.
Okay, we'll let it slide.
I couldn't find my Rockets t-shirt in time. So I was gonna wear that just for you. But let's do this. Let's do this before we dump all over me. for maybe the fans of this podcast that don't know who you are, which would be a shocker, maybe the people that stumble across this that don't know who you are. How did Lira? How did you two come to become a thing? How is that tag team formed or bonded, however you want to word it?
Well,
I was always doing my own thing, my like single matches. And before Beer was in a tag team, and then his partner quit. So I don't know. Me and Beer were always just hanging out and doing stuff. So he always mentioned being a tag team, and then it eventually just kind of happened. So
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was my first ever wrestling match.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My first, while I was still training, was my first match, and then, like you said, when I started, they kind of put me in a different tag team fast. When I would drive from Grand Prairie, I'd crash at Cheek's place before heading back. He was always one of the guys I got along with, and we became friends outside of wrestling. And then once we came over to like LPW here, and we started out, we were both kind of just doing solo things. And I mentioned it. I used to bug him about a different team name that I won't mention because he doesn't like it. But I was like, we got to team up one day. And then, Spencer heard it, and they put us together, and the rest is history.
I mean, watching you guys as a tag team, you guys have incredible chemistry. Like that's one thing that like you guys knock out of the park. But it's incredible to see because both you guys can. I wanted to swear there. I caught myself. Both you guys can go as singles wrestlers too. So it's like it's really nice where like, hey, if you guys are booked for a singles match on like an LPW show, we know that you guys can go. We know that you guys can go as tag teams too. So it's like no matter what situation you guys are put in, you guys can go in the ring.
yeah.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the singles or the tag, or doesn't matter? Just book us and we'll do whatever we got to do.
Pretty much, yeah. If you just, for me, it's like book me wherever, and I'll do what I can to make it good. I prefer singles, but I am having a lot of fun doing tag team. Keep it fun. Okay. And but no, like I enjoy having Birat as my tag partner because I don't have to worry about him. Like you have some guys that kind of do their own thing or want to show off and not work with me or whatever, and with him it's just we try to do things that'll make the match better and that'll like get over or get heat or whatever it is. And it's just I feel like none of us really put our ego into it. We just want to go out and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel like a couple of tag teams we've wrestled before, if there's one of the guys running late or not there yet or anything like that, it's usually if it's brothers, they know what the other guy's going to do. If me and Sheik are running late, it feels like we can just plan the match without the other guy even being there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the chemistry and connection you guys mentioned there earlier. What was I going to say? I had a cough, so I lost it, but I didn't mean to ignore your question there, Blair, when you first said it.
That's okay. Sometimes I'll just give a statement and hope that somebody says something afterwards.
No, I didn't mute it, but like something you mentioned there, quick, sorry, Pluggo, but something we tried doing on purpose when we first started teaming up, since we were single guys, was like avoid just straight up tag team moves right off the bat until we kind of established that, hey, we've been teaming more and more. Now we can come up with kind of our own unique stuff. Yeah. Whereas like the generic, grab a wrist, let me hit him, or let's do the double suplex. Off the bat, all right. But once we became an official team, we're like, let's come up with some of our own stuff now.
And that it works, especially for that dynamic when you have, two singles wrestlers teaming up. It's not like you put, wrestler A and wrestler B together and they're going to start, having all this chemistry and like know exactly where to be for the other person. Like you have to build that. So it almost works to be like, we're two singles guys teaming. We'll get those moves, but like, let's establish ourselves, then add that in.
Yeah.
You guys lately, have really been able to, I don't want to say show off more creativity, but like more personality for yourselves too. You guys got those new t-shirts, which are absolutely incredible. I need to get one still, but like, between stuff like that with the dressing up as the APA a few shows back, like all that sort of stuff, like it's very fun watching the creative sides come out for both of you guys.
Blair's dancing around it. Who came up with the ties?
That's all cheap. Yeah, I do credit where credit's due.
You know, like I go online. I smoke a little too much, so I go online. I just and then I always put it in my cart, but I'll never buy it until I actually like, sober up and then look at it. But one day I was like, "Oh, this would look good for wrestling. This would be good for wrestling." But it's stuff that I would never wear. And then one day I tore my tights, and I just had all this extra shit laying around. So I was just like, "Whatever, I'll just try it on." Because like my whole thing is like, you have this guy who's wearing sparkly stuff. He's beating up your hero. Like, how much worse could it be for the guy you're beating up? Plus, how annoying is it that this guy's bedazzled and he's, the fans are watching you just be a jackass. Like, there's nothing the fans that can do to stop me. So I just thought the more loud and outrageous my outfit could get, the better. And so tagging with B-Rat, I ended up getting red and gold, and I just gave him the red stuff because his gear is more red than anything. So
now, did you need convincing for this creative side of Chic, Brad, or were you just all in from the jump?
He was doing it for a little bit on his own, and then he's like, "I got a red, and do you want to wear it?" And I was like, "Should I?" And we just put him on in the back, and he got a reaction, and we're like, "All right, let's go out there for the first time looking like this." So I was all for it.
There's more of a rib on myself that kind of worked out.
So that's literally that, and then like the whole idea behind like Jacked and Juicy is just we randomly started getting some promo time before or after our matches that neither of us were prepared for. So we were just like, "Oh, we got a promo today. Let's go out there and say some stuff." And I remember I went out there and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna act more serious," and then I'm just trying to be serious. I give the Sheiks there, "Give me the mic, give me the mic." Before we leave, I gotta say something. I'm like, "What do you want to say, man?" So I give it to him, and he drops the Jack, Juicy, and Certified Beauty line.
It's a good line.
It's good.
Yeah, we go in the back, and I'm looking. I'm like, "Sheik, everyone's reacting to your line. We gotta capitalize on this."
Yeah.
And that will be the moment that you guys turn faces.
Yeah. Like I think our very next match when we went out, the fans were all chanting Jacked and Juicy. And I looked at him, I'm like, "What the hell's going on? I'm not even guys liking us."
Yeah.
Now, okay, there's two things I took away from Chic's story there about getting those bow ties. It's one that I could have got high before we hopped on here. and two, I need to know, have you made bad purchases after smoking? And if so, what has been the worst one?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I still am making bad purchases, I guess. I don't know what the last really bad one was, but usually I buy stuff that just doesn't fit or whatever, like a phone case that doesn't fit my phone, or whenever I buy clothes online, my friends end up getting them because they just don't fit me.
Mm-hmm.
So I
you ever had an item that you were just like, "I know I'm going to use this all the time," and then it sits on your shelf and collects dust? Oh, he's like, "Yep."
If I haven't thrown it away by now, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I have. I just don't know what it is or where it is. But
I do remember the last time that I actually got drunk. This was a few years back. We went out to an establishment where there was some, there was dancing and all that fun stuff, and I was wasted, and one of the dancers had a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey on, and I was like, "I'm going to go buy a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey online right now," and I bought it from the American site, and $500 later I ordered a jersey.
Yeah,
that was a very regretful phone call Monday morning to cancel it. So
yeah, hockey jerseys are crazy.
You want to see two things that I bought that are completely useless that I never use?
Yeah.
Gold-plated $100 bill playing cards. This lighter gun that I never use. And there's a few other things, but
Somebody
Bring those cards, Sheik. We'll do an APA skit at the next show.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring the lighter gun too.
Yeah, we can light up some cigars.
You're just playing cards with Canadian Goose and Wolf Boy.
Lira Protection Agency. You guys are set.
Somebody needs to take Shiki's Amazon Prime subscription away. It's too easy. It's too easy.
The problem with like Temu is you go on there and you start looking around, and next thing you know, your card is loaded up with stuff you don't need.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, that's what all the like bedazzled stuff, the vest and everything was, and then I was like, "Fuck it, I have it. Might as well use it."
Mm-hmm.
And it
That makes
worked
sense.
out.
And now you guys are sparkling to the ring.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, have you noticed much of a difference in reactions? Because I mean, you guys both wrestle predominantly in Alberta, but you do make the jump over to Saskatchewan. Do you notice any differences between the two at all?
No, they hate me pretty much everywhere. So.
They like you a lot more in LPW now, though.
Yeah, they like now they like me more in LPW, but like for the most part, I'm pretty much hated everywhere I go. Saskatoon is probably most hated because for some reason they always get me to start the show off with a promo, and you can't even hear me on the mic. The fans are booing and yelling so loud. Even the guys in the ring have trouble hearing me. So
That's pretty good, though. That's kind of what you'd want, right?
yeah, no, it is good. Like I love it there. Just I don't know why they always tell me to cut a promo because I think they just enjoy seeing me.
Just
Get yelled at.
just a running ring going on.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
But, I don't know. For like in Edmonton now, even now, like they'll chant jacked and juicy, but we still get our booze in and stuff. It just depends who we're facing.
yeah.
It's because you guys beat up all of the fan favorites.
You know, we're supposed to.
I know.
And it takes a little bit of time too, because I mean, you guys did start with the jacked and juicy, and even just getting the positive reaction for that, like then you know a little bit longer with that, and maybe you guys do some nicer stuff in the ring, and next thing you know, you guys are fan favorites. It's
Nice.
Well, I kind of feel like we're in the spot of like how Edge and Christian were, and they're totally reeking of awesomeness era.
Okay.
Love their shtick, but then they hated them in the ring. So
Yeah.
that's a very good comparison for the attention aspect of it. I think that fits good.
We gotta give people the 5 seconds for photos next show.
With those playing cards, so they can get some use out of them.
I think everyone has flash photography now, so they'll all take advantage.
Yeah. Since you all got flash photography, here you go.
We're gonna need residuals on that idea if it takes off.
we'll see.
Hey, it's better than a no.
Now, to circle back just a little bit when we were talking about you guys getting together as a tag team, I wanted to ask, but then we went on that awesome Shiki shopping spree. Did the chemistry come right away for you guys, or was there like a feeling out period where it's like, oh man, maybe we're not going to click? Because I always love asking that question, especially tag teams, because it's such a unique dynamic.
I don't think so. Like, I think it worked pretty well right away. In the beginning, like we talked about it, and we were like we are a team. We're working together, but we're not a team, is what we're trying to convey to the crowd. And then eventually we were like doing more double teams and more like setting each other up for the other guy's move kind of thing. And then for me, it was like B-Rat does his stuff. I've been doing it so long, like I can work around any situation kind of that happens. So I feel like when we got in the ring, we purposely made it kind of not as smooth as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Then once we established ourselves, then we decided to go in like full in.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like having wrestled him and like watched him, it feels like, oh, I know what he does. I know how he moves. And back in like my early days at PWA, he was usually either the champ, like the main event guy at the end of the show. So I was always done my matches, and just being so like young and new to wrestling, I'd always be peeking and watching, right? So I feel like I had remembered and studied enough of his stuff to be like, oh, I know where I can help him get into this situation, or where he can help me, and just kind of how it took off kind of thing. And being like kind of both silly and saying things that you wouldn't expect to say out in person, and then just slowly letting that personality come out in the ring. He's helped me in that aspect tremendously, because like who I'm in the ring and who I am outside the ring is completely different. I find it a lot harder to be like my laid back, goofy, out of pocket self sometimes in the ring. But just hearing him and the way he acts and the things he says to the crowd, I'm like, oh, I can say that too now.
For the new fans of this show, Brett just does that on Twitter, usually at myself.
Twitter's a lot easier. I'm not in the middle of a match thinking, what's next? Is fans saying something to me, you know? That was my biggest issue, just in singles matches early on, just remembering everything and then not letting myself be natural in the ring. So with this take stuff, it's kind of taken a load off of me, just to be like, oh, I can sit back, appreciate things, and just naturally respond.
Sheik, when did you first start off wrestling?
I started training in like 2006.
Okay.
2007-ish. I'm not entirely sure when my first match was, but it was around that time.
And I mean, from starting back then, I mean, you've obviously seen many things change throughout, but like for yourself, what's been the biggest thing that you've been able to notice, especially with wrestling out in Alberta?
Well, when I first started wrestling, I noticed a lot of people were taking stuff from AJ Styles and the way they would dress and act, and they were kind of like pretty much copying everything they did. Find now that everybody's kind of starting off as their own entity, not like I'm going to be a ripoff of this guy. And also I noticed like the style is different. Before it was the slower pace, more slamming, punching, whatever. Now it's more of an acrobatic style, and it's just like move after move kind of thing. I also noticed that a lot of the times, like I'll watch, not so much us, but it does happen quite a bit, where it's like every match has a dive in it. Every match has something super crazy going on. And I feel like if you're doing that every time, it doesn't, like by the time you get to the main event and you see a guy do a big flip to the outside, people are like happy to see it, but they're just kind of like, let's, you know?
Yeah.
So
I do think we're in a time now where you do see many locker rooms with, you know, that communication where it's being like, hey, we've got this going in our match. So, you know, like just to let others know that, hey, maybe we don't want to have 48 power bombs going on in the match, you know, things like that. The communication helps, especially to have such like a tightly run show like that.
Yeah. I also noticed the it was a lot more bigger, juiced up dudes back then. And now it's like, you know, the guys are like not juiced up, but they're athletic. They got muscles, they're built and whatever, but it's a faster style instead of just like, you know, running, power slamming people, and then just kind of your 30-second speed or whatever it is. And then you're just dead for the rest of the match because you got too much muscle. And also like character development. I think it was more crucial back then. And now it's more like who can do the cooler move. And I just feel like the character development is more important than what happens in the ring, because, you know, you'll see a cool move and people will like it, but then after the next cool move, people forget about it. So for me, it's like how B-Rat said, you're in the ring and, you know, you want to pander to the crowd and talk shit and whatever. And for me, I just try to say the stupidest thing that pops into my head. And it ends up like people remember that, or we do something stupid in the ring where like we reverse our finish where I'm going to go off the top rope and he ends up hitting me and I nut myself. And then, you know, just stuff like that.
People don't get attached to the power bomb. They get attached to the performer doing the power bomb. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, because when you think of it, like,
I'm poetic tonight. Poetic.
You can see, you know, like you said, you know, all these dives to the outside, all these flips, whatever. But sometimes what somebody is going to take away from the match is like, you know, the promo afterwards that really hit, or a moment in that match, not necessarily all the moves. So being able to kind of differentiate that really allows you to stand out a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like how we're talking about, I guess, diving and doing all the crazy spots, but like, I personally can get carried away with it. I'm like, Sheik, why we do all this and this? And he's telling me simmer down. But something as simple like, I'll just use LPW as an example. When we go there and we see like the card order, if you see you're after the scramble match or before the scramble match, in my head, I just go, okay, there's no dives tonight for me. I'm not doing anything because they just leave it for them. You know, it's going to happen, right? There's 5-6 people in those matches. They're wild. It's like, all right, we got to do something different. If you're further away in the card, it's different. But just kind of like how Blair said, if you're going to go talk to somebody in your match and just be like, hey, man, well, this is what we're doing for our finish, or is anybody else getting the ref involved? Or and then the guys in the back, when they give us our finishes, are pretty good at kind of telling us, hey, guys, this is safe for this match. Nobody do this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned it. You said that you like to sometimes do too much, and Sheik has to rail you in. So when you get to do a one-on-one match, are you just like, all right, here we go, I'm going all out? Do you get it out that way, or do you still like have Sheik in the back of your mind going, settle down?
That's what I like those Thursday shows. It's like, all right, I've been thinking of all these ideas, I got them written down. I'm going to put them all in a match and then just watch it back and be like, I like that. I didn't like that. All right, I'm teaching this. How can I torque this? And then this is how I use those Thursday shows. And then, oh, if I had Sheik with me in the tag match, I could help him set me up with this or go about it this way. But yeah, in the back, usually Sheik just looks at me. You don't have to do all that. All right, man.
It's good. You're learning, young Padawan.
Well, I mean, sometimes I convince them.
I just feel like you don't have to do all your big moves, whatever, in a match. A lot of the times, like for me, I feel like I'm pretty established, so the people know my move set. So if I don't do the reverse superplex or whatever it is, like it's not a big deal. But then when I do it the next time, it makes it mean more because you don't always see it every time.
Mm-hmm. And that's been a big debate on the internet right now. And I don't want to, this is more of an independent podcast than a mainstream, but you know, like SmackDown this past week, you know, KO hits Randy with the Canadian Destroyer, lays him out. And then you go to other companies and they're doing it all the time. So it's a great debate. Yeah. Pile driver. Sorry. Pile driver. My bad. Yeah. I was thinking Destroyer because that was the clip that I saw side by side was orange. But either way, that's an interesting fact to see like how other wrestlers, you know, navigate that.
To me, it can be any move, and it's just all about how the guy sells it and how you protect your own move. Right?
Yeah.
Like a pile driver, a lot of people will do 2-3 or even a German suplex, and they just bounce out super kick. But there's still people that use the super kick as a finish. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what we've done, I guess, with our finish. Is either if we hit it, the match is usually over, or we've had someone break it up in multi-man matches. It's kind of protected a little bit, just to kind of have the idea of once it's hit, the match is usually over. But I'm sure we'll come up with a point of, hey, big kick out here. But I get just back to what you were saying. It can literally be a scoop slam. If that's your finish, you know, protect it or whatever. I'm not a big fan of every match on every show having kick out and finish. Mm-hmm. And it's just why is it called a finish if everyone's kicking out, you know?
Yeah.
I'm okay with big matches or title matches having a few of them, but every match shouldn't.
Make it feel a little bit more special, you know?
Dare I say it? I've been good the whole time. So on, you know, in a couple weeks here, when you're down on the mat and they start to count to 3, just lay there for 3. Don't kick out.
I'll remember you. Nah, that's it.
Which I think is a great segue. So we've talked about some of the other independents that you've done across, you know, like Saskatoon and all that fun stuff. How has it been for like LPW specific? Because we are here at Love Wrestling, so we should talk about how has that environment been for you guys coming into it and seeing how it's grown. And this is, I think, what the 3-year, almost for the 3-year anniversary. We're getting close.
Yeah, it's got to be close to 3 if we haven't hit it already.
Yeah, LPW 32. So I mean, if you do the math, I mean, I don't know how powdered sugar's made, but
and after the first show, there's a bit of a break, so it's got to be there.
Yeah, it's got to be getting close.
But LPW has been good, man. It's been fun to be part of it, and it's been great to like watch it grow. There's been a lot of locker rooms I've been in where there's no feeling of or sense of like professionalism. Sometimes you kind of just everyone sits alone There's certain groups where no one talks to you. Oh, we got to wrestle. We'll talk for 5 minutes. Okay, that's it. In LPW, everyone introduces themselves, talks to you, whether it be the camera guys or the guys in the back doing everything, or the guys you're wrestling, or you're not wrestling them. Everyone's just more included and wanting to help everybody. Where like you'll see guys just randomly come up to you and give you an idea or feedback to your match, where it doesn't happen in every locker room. So in that aspect, it's been fun to watch, and just to me, there's a sense of like friendliness towards everybody, and then more professionalism feeling in there. Not the only locker room, but I just, it's been fun to watch it and see it grow from the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the old locker rooms I was in, there was guys with egos, guys that felt they were better than other people or shouldn't lose to this guy or whatever it is, or just didn't want to work with somebody. With LPW, like, it's a good locker room. There's the odd person that comes in that you're kind of just, they're a little standoffish. I don't know if they're shy or they're quiet. I mean, for me, like, in real life, like, I'm a pretty quiet person usually, and I'll say hi to my friends and I'll talk to my friends and stuff. But if I see somebody that's new in the locker room, I want to go say hi to them and just introduce myself, but I don't like to bother people at the same time when they're going through stuff or doing whatever. But I feel like it's just everybody's there to have a good time, put on a good show. We're all pretty much friends. I feel like I can hang out with anybody in the LPW locker room outside of wrestling and have a good time. But I wouldn't.
Same for the few, right? Another thing that's really been big too is just like the production wise. Like, I know we've been trying to do things I remember match 1, we're working on cues, working on everything, and just getting the better cameras involved, the right people behind them, doing the music, everything, right? It's just, now it's a nice, smoother product, which we've nailed fairly early on. But I remember like the steps of getting it. And even these shows you guys do just put you guys over too. It's like all of this stuff online is just, when I remember seeing LPW this, LPW there, I was like, how many smaller shows do we have? And it reaches like audiences everywhere, right?
Yeah,
that's been kind of cool.
I think like Spencer does put on a good product. He's like works hard. He gives he puts everything into it. Like, he loves wrestling, which is good, because I've worked for some companies where the promoter just could care less. He'd put on a wrestling show for the sake of putting on wrestling shows and just let things fall by the wayside or whatever. And it's like, back then, if you had a video screen, you thought you were big time. And now it's like so easy to get a screen, music, find a graphic designer to make things. And just, Spencer is on top of everything, and it just makes the product look so much better.
How has he been as a he's like in the creative sense, when you come to him and say, we want to wear goofy suits, we want to be Jack Juicy and certified beauties and all this, is he very open to that, or is he kind of like this is what we're doing kind of deal? Like, how is he with the group of you guys? Because you guys have a very tight-knit group of like day one people that are still there, which is a testament as well.
For me personally, I don't know, because I've never asked him.
I was about to say, he's usually pretty chill about it, because he's not like, guys, you have to do this, or what are you doing tonight with your character? He likes to be as surprised and shocked as everybody else is when we go out there, whether we're wearing something or what we're going to say. There's been a few things where like he'll be like, hey, mention this about us. And he'll be like, oh, okay. And like, he's been pretty good about that, where in his little note card you tell him, say this about us, or and he'll just go mess up my name sometimes on the Thursday shows, and it's just to get back at each other kind of thing. But as far as being like someone who's just watching everything, I don't think he does that with anybody. He's usually pretty chill about it and have full creative freedom to do your own character and your own gimmick. This is the match he gives you, and that's what you do.
The only time I've ever asked Spencer for anything was there was a few promos I kind of ran by him because I knew they were kind of spicy, I guess you could say. And usually he shuts them all down. So,
we need spicy chic, man. Come on, Spence.
Chic after dark.
Yeah.
Well, like when you look, because I mean LPW 32 is the next one, if I'm not mistaken. The year has flown by, but like when you look at like the very start of the year, getting to wrestle in Rogers Place, to like in a few short days, you guys are going to be becoming the new LPW Tag Team Champions. So like when you look at 2024 as a whole, how do you guys feel about the year?
I don't know. I think it's gone pretty good for us. We've been on pretty much every show. I've missed a few, but for the most part, we've had good matches, good opponents. The crowd's always been receptive. I feel like we hit gold with these new shirts that we got, and just, you know, the Rexall or Rogers Place was a great thing to start the year off with.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was something that we've never done before in Edmonton, which was great. And I just feel like, you know, for Lira, everything's going great. So, and next year will be even better.
Mm-hmm.
First off, see how he said we're going to be the new champions?
Like
That's
that.
big right there. See, I caught that.
Yeah.
But 24 has had, you know, it's downs and ups, both like in wrestling and personal life. So it started off, I guess we lost our titles, couldn't get them back. And then we lost another match or two or something like that. And then we were on a tear. So wrestling wise, it's, you know, had started down and up. And I've never been part of like anything like this where it's just so like a natural kind of, the crowd is just growing to us with the whole Jack and Juicy, the dressing up with the shiny clothes and stuff like this. So it's been fun to be part of. And like in real life, things were going good. I had a kid, second one, and
congratulations.
Working out physically, everything was going great. And then you mess up your back in a match and everything has to get halted. Then you go back down. And now I'm working on recovering here again. So we got back on the up for both personal and us with another title shot here.
Yeah.
And then Rogers is right around the corner to start the new year again.
Mm-hmm.
This time we want to go there as champions.
There you go.
It's cool to be challenging for the titles and now defending the titles possibly, right?
So,
Like I was gonna say, sorry, like you two as a team, I think like really came into your own in 2024. I mean, you guys have always been like, you know, everybody knew who Lira was, but I think like now you guys have come up and it's almost like you guys don't get the appreciation that you deserve almost at this point. Like you guys are one of the most underrated teams, I think, in Canada for when it comes to wrestling. Like you guys deliver every time.
Thank you. It's awesome to hear because it's one of those things where we've tried to like, again, purposely do where anytime we were in a scramble match or anything like that, or even in tag matches, we tried to avoid purposefully hitting each other or making silly mistakes, just to always avoid any friction or tension, just to show that we're always on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also helped that I think out of all the teams and factions, we're the only one that's consistently teamed all year this year.
you know, you guys have ruined my theory of there's tension. Apparently, I wrote that at least twice.
Dude, like the way I try to do it is like there's me and there's B-Rat, and yeah, we're two bad guys and we're on a team. And usually teams have a captain or a guy who thinks he's above the other person. Mm-hmm. And the way I try to do it in the ring is like we're two established bad guys, but I don't matter and B-Rat doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is winning.
Yeah.
So whether we have that little confusion where he hits me, I hit him, or like he hits the rope and I'm on the apron or the turnbuckle and I nut myself, or vice versa. Like me and him don't matter. It's just the goal matters, which is getting those tag team titles. And that's what I try to get or put out in them when we wrestle, because there's a lot of time where I'm like, you know, wrestling and I'm like, you want in, or you want to do this, you want to do that, and he'll do the same, or he'll slam a guy and he'll be like, you know, hit him with your helo and tag me and do that. And so it's like whatever, we're just two bad guys that work well together and are just able to put their ego aside is what I'm trying to do. Whether it changes or not, it might be different, but for now, that's what I got going on.
So how about this? Perfect segue. We talked about it. We want to end the year with tag team championships.
They're gonna end the year with tag team championship.
I listen. That's what you say. I'm gonna stick. They want to end the year tag team championships. They have a match at LPW 32 against Ride or Die, the longest reigning tag team champions in LPW history. We can talk about that match, but let's just assume Blair's right, and you're walking out as tag team champions. Who would you want in a dream scenario to face at Rogers Place to kick off 2025?
Never thought about that.
Because Spencer has been known. He brought in Bussy. He's brought in Sinner and Saint. He's brought in a lot of big name tag teams. Who's on your radar? Gotta have somebody.
I've never really thought about like, oh, I need to face so and so. But I mean, since I'm on the spot, I'm a big like Ricochet mark. So if he's got a tag team and we can bring him in with anybody, I'm always down.
Oh, there you go.
The look on Sheik's face there is like, I don't know.
He's like, I'm blown up thinking about it.
We just talked about this, Brad, all that speed and not necessary stuff. Come on, man. Ground and pound, brother.
If it's someone that's been here, Artemis Spencer's been someone I've always wanted to get in the ring, whether it be in the tag or solos. That'd be a fun match as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never really thought of it because I feel like we're on a level above everybody else, so we don't need to.
It's fair. Hey, that's
should be wanting to fight us, okay?
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I have no idea. If actually, you know what, I would. If I got to pick a tag team, I would say like FTR would be a good one to get in the ring with because, like, I mean, we're similar styles. We, you know, kick, punch, slams, not too much flashy stuff. I mean, B-Rat does the diving usually. And if not them, I would say probably two guys, I can't remember their name, from AEW as well, but whatever.
What did they do? Sorry for not being able to give you like an answer.
No, that's fine. To be fair, and to play up the gimmick, I kind of put the cart before the horse for you guys. We haven't even talked about the match you got to get through first.
I've always felt bad to be like, oh, Spencer, bring so-and-so so we can face him. Oh, give us this guy or anything.
You don't have to
mindset of like whoever we're facing that month. Great.
You don't have to worry about it because Pluggo's the one who brought it up. So like, just put all blame on him. He's the one making Spencer spend that money.
CEO of Flowing Budget, Spencer's budget. Blair, do you want to bring this thing back around and talk about the match, or should I? Because you know how I already feel about it. Because we've already
LPW 32. You guys are facing off with Ride or Die. You're going to become the new LPW Tag Team Champions. Look, Pluggo, I know what I'm doing here. I'm picking the winners. I'm being on the correct side of history.
Fair enough.
This is why you get a shirt.
See? How are you guys feeling heading into that match, knowing that this is the opportunity you guys need to get that gold back around your waists?
I think everyone knows, and we've told everybody that when they won those titles, they weren't even supposed to be in that match. So it's a little bit of backstage politicking on Terran's behalf of, put us in this match. And then secondly, we took out 7, and they just ended up to steal the win on us. So they didn't pin the champions. And what's that old saying? To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And that's exactly what we're going to do at LPW 32.
See?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, yeah, like B-Rad said, you know, they got the match from crying and whining and through the back door. They didn't pin us because they knew they couldn't. So they stole the victory from us with our hard work. I'm not too worried about next or in a few weeks on the 22nd. I know we're going to go in there. We're going to kick their asses. We're going to win the titles. The only thing we really probably have to worry about is greasy Michael Koresh over there trying to insert himself into our match. So,
do you guys have a plan for MRB if he shows up and gets involved?
It's greasy Michael Koresh or greasy Koresh.
I'm a journalist, Blair.
You know what? Michael can try to get in our match all he wants. I've never been a stranger to punching him in the face. So, and I know I can easily just pick him up and throw him into the wall as hard as I could. So, I mean, it's up to him whether he wants to go into his match in pain or perfectly fine.
The last thing he wants to do is get our attention while he's having a title defense on his own.
Yeah.
Or if that's the case, if you don't want us to take your tag titles, one of us will come take that challenge title. So it's best if he just walks onto the stage and then walks on back. Okay? Save yourself for once. And we're good over here.
Yeah.
He can come back out later on when he's comforting them after they've lost their tag.
Not even then. That's our celebration time. The cameras are going. We'll be raising our hands.
Is there a plan for the celebration? Is there something in the works for a central celebration? Will champagne be on ice?
To quote Conor McGregor, it's red panty night. I had to get it in.
Let's just say the green will be burning that.
That too.
Why do I feel like it'll be burning win or loss? Is there a different type of green for winning?
No, it's all the same.
It all smokes.
Yeah.
And we'll be popping up one of those LPW brewskis and letting Alley Cat
Brainbuster brews.
This picture is still unacceptable.
And your winning beers are on Spencer's on his tab.
They better be.
Yeah, the champs. I don't know, guys. I mean, Blair's calling it. I'm still undecided. You'll have to.
Oh, now you're undecided. You were pretty confident with Ride or Die there not long ago.
It's because we're on screen.
And now he's 50-50. We're changing it.
You're catching on. You're catching on to how I do this. I just kind of waver on both sides and try to be right.
Don't worry.
Whine and cry. You whine and cry. You can stay with them.
Wow.
When we record the preview show next week, I'll make sure I hold him to task on this.
Let them know. Let Boris and JPJ, whoever's there, let them know. He's flippy floppy here.
Yeah,
They know me. Everybody knows. Everybody's aware.
Boris knows what to expect with him when we record.
Of all things, at least I am honest with what I do.
Boris better be riding with us, not because of me, but just because of Sheik. Okay, this man better be picking him.
Yeah. Before we get closer to the end here, Sheik, are you getting any residuals from that picture that Boris plays on every stream he's on?
No.
You should be.
I don't know if Boris gets any money out of that.
Boris would like that face printed on Canadian money.
Well, I mean, it should be. It's a very confusing look I was giving, but
did you know what was going on in that moment?
No, we got to the McDonald's after the show, and everybody was like huddled around the table, and they're laughing, whatever. So I was like, "What are you guys looking at?" Because I drove, so it was last to good in the restaurant. So when I looked over, and I just came in from outside, and my eyes were, I don't know, a little fucked up. So
What did you do outside?
Yeah, what were you doing out there?
There's wind in my eye. When I looked at the phone, I wasn't sure what was going on. And even when I looked, I didn't even know what I was looking at. So I just said whatever, and just, I guess he screenshot the picture. And
yeah, I was on that stream that night. He's like, and now it's just you've become a staple of Love Wrestling lore.
Yeah.
Like I always say in the ring, everybody loves me. They just don't know it yet.
He'll pop on any show and just throw it up, and you're like, okay, Boris.
Like, he's hot. We get it. We get it. He's sexy. He's jacked and juicy.
He's a certified beauty.
Yeah, see? I got it. I've got it. I'm gonna, like, one day I'm gonna go like this to a shirt and it's gonna have that on. You guys are gonna be disappointed that I bought one.
Well, we'll know if you buy one or not. You gotta get it from us. We'll see the message and just ignore.
Ah, damn, that sucks.
Take his lost in the mail.
Hey, listen, it's American dollars for me, so it's like even more for you, right?
I swear we shipped it, man. I don't know what's taking so long.
Here's the tracking number, and it's just Bear Rat flipping you off.
Yeah.
I would actually respect a move like that. I don't even know if I'd be mad about it if that was
It'll
the
be like,
case.
yeah, you click on the link and it'll be that big black guy with the huge dong, but it'll be a finger where his dong goes. Actually, probably have to be 2 fingers because it's pretty big.
Do we have that picture to punch up for for comparison?
Boris will help you out. He'll pop it up.
Where's Boris when we need him?
He's gonna punch that up on Saturday Night Love this week.
Oh man, he's got a rad show this week. I don't know. This is a family show. We don't have those pictures ready available. But the funny thing is, everybody watching knows exactly what you're talking about. You dirty-minded perverts.
Yeah. This brings me to this is the segue for this question, because like that meme had taken over for quite a while. It still pops up. Is there any like meme that you guys quote on a regular basis?
Not meme.
No.
I like to quote random movies, but
Yeah.
like not necessarily a meme.
Okay. Do you normally go for the comedies? Because like that's the ones we hit at, like the Jump Streets.
Jump Street was good too. I like the Shrek.
Shrek.
Bobby, how they get nice stuff. I don't know, just the most random ones, but
I seen it when it first came out back in like the early 2000s, but I rewatched Shrek last night after a few edibles, and that movie fucking goes. Like, it's hilarious.
There's certain scenes in that entire movie where I watch with my daughter and wife, and they just tell me to shut up, and I will just start quoting the entire thing.
What's your favorite Shrek quote? What's the favorite?
The first and second are great. It's a hard debate, depending. The original is just great, but the second one is pretty good too. But the first one I can quote for almost the entire thing. My favorite is that pick number 2, my lord, or whenever someone asks you something, I'd go pick number 2, man. But yeah, pretty much Shrek is love and Shrek is life. So if you haven't, you don't know, now you know.
that first Shrek movie, when it starts off and like he comes out of the outhouse, and then all of a sudden you're just somebody wants. Didn't think I'd be quoting Shrek on the show.
I think you'd be talking about Smash Mouth.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on to the show today.
I can be a real life donkey sometimes. Like if I get going, I won't stop talking. Just say, man, settle down.
Sheik is being very quiet when you said that, almost to the like, yep.
Yeah, he's agreeing. Probably he's like this guy.
Oh yeah, oh, trust me. I get you. Nobody shits on this guy more than I do.
He'll play Call of Duty with me too, and everything. I go, Sheik, you still there?
Did you guys get to the newest one?
Yeah, I finally played it yesterday, and I guess 2 days ago. I played 2 days in a row.
Nice.
So I was up till like 3 last night, and then you're up with the kid at 7. So I was like, whatever. You don't get many days off. You're like, it's worth it.
Yeah. Before I hopped on stream, I was playing, so it's great.
Me too. I have it right here.
I've never played it.
I used to play it a lot, but I haven't in a long time. I haven't played any video games.
You did tell me last night you're gonna go home and download it, and you never showed up.
I was super high.
He was buying playing cards and lighters.
Yeah.
I bought 8 pieces of fried chicken, and I just went to town.
Did you eat all 8?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
And
Respect.
pretty soon, Paradier is going to be wearing golden singlets. Okay, we're going to get rid of the tights and the shirtless look.
We're gonna be thick and juicy.
Thick, juicy, and certified beauties.
Yeah.
Finger licking good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now I'm gonna have to go get some fried chicken for supper.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, man. No.
Man, I like Church's chicken is so good with their little honey butter biscuits. Like, I don't know how you can go wrong with that.
Church's chicken. I've never had that. Is that Alberta exclusive?
I thought it was an American company, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never had it either.
I haven't either. I don't know. Sheik's just living that Church's chicken life. He gets it flown in special.
Yeah.
He's the daily guy.
I thought when we got you two on the show, that Pluggo and Barat, that I thought there was going to be much more animosity here. I'm
That's just
surprised
nice.
that it was very minimal today.
I go at him so hard. Sometimes I had a fan message him and tell him, why am I so mean on his birthday?
Really?
Everybody was so nice except for Brett. Everybody was so nice for my birthday. Like, happy birthday, Plug. I hope it's a good day. Brett's like, fuck you.
I said one of those like stupid things like, I hope your coffee's cold, and like, I hope everything you do today goes wrong. But happy birthday, man. And the lady's like, wow, that's extremely rude. And he starts messaging me.
Yeah, I was very upset that day. No, I listen, I get it. Barat, you just protect the team. I get it. I understand. But I got to do what I got to do. I got to make picks. Not everybody's going to like them.
Yeah.
Okay, all I got to say is, when we're going back and forth recently, you like kept tagging Ride or Die and like Steven and Taryn, and you're like, guys, look, I'm cheering for you. And they just ignored you.
That's not even true. They liked everything.
I can't see who likes it, right? Did they quote anything? Did they respond? Did they say anything to your defense? Like she comes in, Archer comes in, Dustin comes in, and everyone's on
Archer. What? Archer doesn't need to be involved in that.
We don't even like each other, us and Archer.
I know. You guys have a common enemy in me.
Still comes and defends us.
God, Blair just stirring the pot.
Mm-hmm. And what about the basketball season this year? I mean,
Jesus
Rockets. Oh,
we always go like back and forth. That's always there.
We're both on the come up. I just think we're going to come up a little higher this year. That's all. We've already beat you once. That's all I need to know.
I won that night. Remember, I was 1 for 2.
I know, and I would have rather you lost and the Rockets lost, and I would have been happy.
Some fan, man.
Yeah, I'll take a Rockets regular season L.
You don't even know
you're going to take it.
Shirts and jerseys are. I got my jerseys all in my closet here.
I know. I couldn't find it, because I wear out the greatness that it is.
I forced my kids to watch them and wear their gear.
Okay. We're wrapping up right away.
Your poor kids. Your poor kids have to be Grizzlies fans. That's gross. It's gross.
You guys, I mean, a few days away from winning the tag titles. 2025. Let's get a prediction from both you guys for what we can expect with PLUGGO in the upcoming year.
Ending 24 is simple. Ending 2024 is champions. Ending 2025 is champions. And what's this record? How long has Ride or Die been champs? We're going to beat that too.
Yeah, I think it's at like 200 and some odd days right now.
We'll go for 3. We'll go for a year.
Simply speculation. It's not actually a thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Back check me.
2025, we're going to go in with the championship belts. Probably more outrageous outfits and more stupid shit, I'm going to say. And we're just going to see us get better and bigger. More moves, more badder moves. I don't know.
More jacked, more juicy.
More juicy, and just we're going to show everybody why PLUGGO is the team you want to see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Now, guys, if there's anything you would like to plug, social media, anything like this, here's an opportunity for you.
Go ahead, B-Rat.
I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm just, my Instagram's Barad Garani 7 and Twitter's Barad Garani KS. If you want a Jack and Juicy shirt, you can reach out to us on those platforms or show up to our shows. Because you don't want to be the only one without that shirt, okay?
Yeah.
Because then you'll be me.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
If you want to, you can find me on Instagram. I think it's Sheik Shabazz. I'm not sure. Or Sheik Akbar. I don't know. I can't remember my handles. Just
it is the Sheik Akbar. I know that because I couldn't get a hold of you on Twitter. I had to ask Brad to get.
Yeah, if you just look up nizarwatts.com and spelling, it's all my shit.
If you can't find him still, I take him in most of my stuff, so that might make it easier.
Doing the work to help all of us.
I'm about the team.
Putting the team on your back, John Moran style.
Now, for myself, you can find me up on all social media at Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast. You can find me here every weekend doing this show with that guy as we take a look at the world of independent wrestling. It's a lot of fun. And there's so much other great content up on the Love Wrestling YouTube, the Patreon, all that. Pluggo did a great interview with Marco Stunt. Make sure you go check that out. There's some great content for the LPW show up on the Patreon, so watch all of that. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Pluggo, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me at Pluggo on all social media platforms and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with JPJ for Between Two Beards. You can find everything we do as a show at B2Beards on all social medias, at 4Exposure Pod on Twitter for this show. And then I've got interviews out right now with these two gentlemen here for the LPW show. Marco Stunt on his retirement and Andy Mack ahead of Past the Gravy Pro Wrestling Adrenaline show coming up. That was yesterday as of the recording of this. So please check all that stuff out.
Awesome. Now, for myself, for my good friend Pluggo, for the new LPW Tag Team Champions, thank you so much for joining us. Peace in the streets.